The hour of convening having arrived, all members will please come to the floor of the House and take seats. All members will please come to the floor. It is time for us to begin our day. The clerk will ring the bell. All members of the House will please come to the floor. We're getting ready for morning roll call. All members, please come to the floor of the House. We're going to have the call of the roll. All members present will please vote green to signify their presence in the chamber, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? Have all members now voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines. Doorkeepers will please close the doors and keep them closed. House will be in order. We will have scripture reading and prayer by the chaplain, after which we will pledge allegiance to the flag of our country. I'm going to ask you when we have prayer this morning to please remember that many of our neighbors in Georgia are hurting this morning after the storms of yesterday, particularly in the northern part of the state. Had an incredible amount of damage, some injuries and a death, and so please keep those individuals in mind as we pray. Our chaplain this morning will be introduced by the gentleman from the 110th House District, Representative Andy Welch. Representative Welch.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning. My esteemed colleagues of this great chamber, the State House of Georgia, it is my pleasure to introduce to you my pastor, Olin McBride. Now, we're Presbyterian in our faith in the McDonough Presbyterian Church, but I started out Southern Baptist and was a member of the First Baptist Church of McDonough for the first 18 or so years of my life. I told Pastor McBride as we were coming in, I said, if you mess this up, I'm going to go back to the First Baptist Church. He is joined by his lovely wife, Jim, who is here with us today. Miss Kathleen Rutledge is a member of our church. She is the wife of your colleague, Representative Rutledge. They are both members of our church, and we're happy to have them here today. Kathy, thank you for coming. Olin has been preaching for a number of years. He's been in Mississippi and South Carolina. He's originally from South Carolina. He did attend the University of South Carolina, so don't hold that against him. Before that, he did have a brief stint at my alma mater, Presbyterian College, so I have to forgive him for his sins at the University of South Carolina. We're happy to have him here. Our pastor nominating committee spent over 2 years searching for a pastor. And the committee had a group of folks narrowed down. They were about to make their decision, and the hand of God intervened and brought Olin out of the blue to our church and to our committee, and Olin was instantly welcomed by the committee and selected to be our pastor, and we are indeed honored to have him. So I'll turn it over to Pastor McBride. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Welch. Mr. Speaker, thank you so much for allowing me to be here, and Representative Rutledge, thank you. Glad you're here as well. It is indeed an honor for me to be here, a South Carolinian, standing in this grand assembly. And when I was preparing to get dressed this morning, I had a hard time deciding what to wear. I didn't know what tie to wear. I thought about wearing a Georgia Tech tie, and I knew that that would offend some individuals. I thought about wearing the Georgia tie, and I knew that would then offend other individuals. I then thought I would try to impress Representative Welch by wearing a Presbyterian College tie, and I decided not to do that because I was at Presbyterian College for 1 year, and after my first year, I guess I was so successful, the Dean of Academics called me into his office and said, "Mr. McBride, you need to leave this institution this year." So I didn't want to wear that tie, and I certainly refused to wear the tie that represents South Carolina because that certainly will remind many of you Georgia football fans of the last 3 years. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. All of you have heard that statement, right? And probably some of you have used that statement. It is a wonderful statement. Sticks and stones will break my bones, but words will never hurt me. There's only one small problem. It's not true. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can totally destroy us. This morning, I want to say a few words about a word. We read in Matthew chapter 12, verse 37. "By your words you shall be justified, and by your words you shall be condemned." Powerful words. Eugene Peterson, a wonderful Presbyterian minister and writer, translates that same passage. His words are, "Words can be your salvation, and words can also be your damnation." Speaking, right? Speaking is who we are. By our words, we will be saved or damned, or justified or condemned. I believe that preachers and representatives, all of us really should give great care to how we use words. We get careless, I believe, with our words. We throw them around as if they were nothing. We need to be careful, I believe, how we use words to and about people. Because words, what? Words hurt, cut, split, injure. Words break. Words inspire. Words love. We need to be careful. A word is a powerful thing. Many couples come to me and they talk to me about getting married, and we will talk about the marriage service. We will try to talk about what marriage is really all about. And almost every couple I meet with will say this to me. They will say, "We want you to keep it short. Keep it short, keep it simple, keep it sweet. We don't want to say any more words than we have to. So he says, I will, and she says, I will. And a new institution is added to society. 4 words, right? He will and she will. Just words. Nothing is ever just a word. Words create new worlds, and words commit. Sometimes we say, I give my word. That's a very ancient expression, right? A very ancient expression which literally means I give my life to you. They don't really mean that, just talk, right? Just words. When you say a word, you are doing something profound. In many cases, you are breaking someone's silence when you speak. And think for a moment of the silence of so many individuals' lives. The silence of being homeless. The silence of being lonely. The silence of no one to talk to. And when you speak, you throw a stone against that clear glass of silence. And you interrupt their world with your voice in the presence of your life. When you say hello, you break the silence of somebody's world. And it's a blessing that you can give so easily to someone today and tomorrow and the next day. A word. A simple word. I wonder why we don't bless more with our words. I wonder why we don't minister, even if you are not a minister, more with our words. Is it because our culture has said to us words are no longer important? Words don't mean anything. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words. Is that the reason? I don't think so. I think the reason we don't bless more with our words is that it is so extremely difficult to say anything that's important to someone or meaningful. You know, the first thing to go when we are depressed or grieving, the first thing to go is the voice, right? The voice. When someone is deeply moved or grieving, they will say, I just can't talk right now. I would like to talk with you about that, but I'm all talked out. And then we say, well, have you talked to your dad about that? No. Have you talked to your friend about that? No. Have you talked to your spouse about that? No. Have you talked to your minister about that? No. Have you talked to your representative about that? No. I just can't talk to anyone anymore. A husband will bring flowers and candy home to his wife, and she will say, well, thank you very much, but I would prefer for you to say, I love you. And then he will say something like this, oh, why don't you just go smell the flowers and eat the candy? Why doesn't he say, I love you? Because saying something important today in our culture, it seems to me, is the most difficult thing in the world for some of us to do. A word. Some things are hard to say. Some things are easy to say. Some things are even easy to shout. Quit driving so fast in my neighborhood. I can shout that. Have you got the mail today? I can shout that. I can even shout, have you ironed my shirt today? And the shout comes back, iron it yourself. But I've never been in a grocery store or Walmart or wherever and heard someone shout, I love you. I've never heard that. I've never been able to shout that. I've never been able to shout, the report came back. It's malignant. I can't shout that. I don't want to even think about that. But why don't we bless more with our words? Why don't we care more with our words? Why can't we say things to each other that really, really matter? I close with a story. Robert Fulghum tells this story. In the Solomon Islands in the South Pacific, some villagers practice a very unique form of logging, cutting down trees. If a tree is too large to be felled with an axe, the natives cut it down by yelling at it. By yelling at it. Woodsmen with special powers creep up on a tree early in the morning and they suddenly scream at it at the top of their lungs. And they continue this practice for 30 days. And the tree dies and falls over. And the theory is that yelling at the tree kills the spirit of the tree. And according to the villagers, it always works. Ah, those poor, naive innocents, such charming habits of the jungle. Screaming at trees, indeed, how primitive. Too bad they don't have the advantages of modern technology and the scientific mind. Me, I yell at the wife and yell at the cell phone and the kids and the lawnmower. I yell at the TV and the newspaper and the computer. I've been known to shake my fist and look up at the sky and yell at God. Man next door seems to yell at his car most of the day. And last week I heard him yell at a stepladder for an entire afternoon. We modern, urban, educated folks yell at traffic, right? I did that this morning. We yell at umpires and bills and banks and machines. Yes, especially machines. Machines and relatives receive most of our yelling. Don't know what good it does. Machines and things just sit there. Even kicking doesn't always help. As for people, well, the Solomon Islanders may have a point. Yelling at things does tend to kill the spirit in them. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will break our hearts. You know, I can shout some things and I can whisper some things, but there are some things that I can hardly say at all. And those are the things that really matter. And then I hear the words of my Savior Jesus Christ, and I realize that I need to at least try, because by our words we are justified, by our words we are condemned. I ask you this morning, do you believe it is possible? Is it possible for you to go to someone today and say something to that person that will make a real difference? Do you believe that's possible? And will we do it? Please join me with prayer. Gracious God, help us with our words. Help us to lift up and not tear down. Heavenly Creator, give legislators, executives, and government workers a knowledge of your will for the world. Let them remember that they serve a public trust beyond personal gain and glory. May they see that no state or nation lives for itself alone, but is responsible to you for peace and for the well-being of all your children. We pray these things through Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Doorkeepers will unlock the doors. Chair recognizes the Chairman of the Committee on Information and Audits, Chairman Sims.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Your Committee on Information and Audits has read the journal of the previous legislative day and found it to be correct.
Chairman Barbara Sims, the Chair of the Committee on Information and Audits, reports that the journal of the previous legislative day has been read and found to be correct. Is there any objection to the confirmation of the journal? The chair hears none, and the journal is confirmed. The clerk will read the resolution establishing the order of business for the day.
Mr. O'Neill, the 146 moves following be established as the order of business during the first part of the period. Unanimous consents. Introduction of bills and resolutions. First reading of reference to bills and resolutions. Second reading of bills and resolutions. Reports of standing committees. Third reading of passage. Uncontested local bills. Rules calendar, morning order, privilege resolutions through the resolution establishing the order of business for this legislative day.
Is there any objection to the adoption of the resolution establishing the order of business for the day? The chair hears none, and the resolution is adopted. First reading of bills and resolutions. The clerk will read.
House Bill 19, by Representative Wade, 60th. The bill being entitled Act amending Title 20, relating to compulsory attendance, elementary, secondary education.
Education.
House Bill 33, by Representative Smith, 125th. The bill being entitled Act relating to driving under the influence of alcohol, drugs, or intoxicating substances.
Judiciary non-civil.
House Bill 148, by Representatives Alexander, the 66th. The bill being entitled Act amending Title 48, relating to enforcement of taxation.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 149, by Representative Kendrick, the 93rd. The bill being entitled Act amending Title 34, general provisions regarding labor, industrial relations.
Industry and Labor.
House Bill 150, by Representative Bruce, 61st. Bill to be entitled Act relating to selling, other trade practices.
Judiciary.
House Bill 151, by Representative Williams, 168th. The bill to be entitled Act amending Title 50, relating to State Accounting Office.
Governmental Affairs.
House Bill 152, by Representative Bentley, in the 139th. Bill to be entitled Act relating to verification requirements, lawful presence in the United States.
Judiciary non-civil.
House Bill 153, by Representative Carson, 46th. Bill to be entitled Act amending Title 48, relating to county special purpose local option
Ways
sales.
and Means.
House Bill 154, by Representative Hamilton, 24th. Bill to be entitled Act amending Title 34, relating to workers' compensation.
Industry and Labor.
House Bill 155, by Representative Knight, 130th. Bill to be entitled Act amending Title 27, relating to game and fish.
Game, Fish, and Parks.
House Bill 156, by Representative Neal, of the second. A bill to be entitled Act relating to computer or electronic pornography child exploitation.
Judiciary non-civil.
House Bill 157, by Representative Neal II. Bill to be entitled Act relating to unsolicited distribution of certain materials.
Judiciary non-civil.
House Bill 158, by Representative Nye, the 130th. The bill relating to general license requirements for hunting, trapping, and fishing.
Game, Fish, and Parks.
House Bill 159, by Representative Harrell, the 106th. Bill to be entitled Act amending Title 48, general provisions ad valorem taxation.
Ways and Means.
House Bill 160, by Representative Jacobs, the 80th. Bill to be entitled Act amending Title 44, relating to mortgages.
Judiciary.
House Bill 161, by Representative Atwood, 179th. Bill to be entitled Act amending Title 15, relating to jury trials.
Judiciary.
House Bill 162, by Representative Jones, 53rd. Bill to be entitled Act amending Title 20, relating to student health.
Education.
House Bill 163, by Representative Jones, 53rd. A bill to be entitled Act amending Title 43, general provisions relative to professions and businesses.
Regulated Industries.
House Bill 164, by Representative Atwood, 179th. Bill to be entitled Act related to exhibitions.
Ways
sales,
and Means.
House Bill 165, by Representative Dukes, 154th. A bill to establish the Georgia Buy American Act.
Governmental Affairs.
House Bill 166, by Representative Bruce, 61st. A bill to be entitled Act amending Title 34, relating to general business industrial relations.
Industry and Labor.
You okay? House Bill 167, by Representative Drenner, the 85th. Bill to be entitled Act amending Title 48, relating to
Ways and Means.
House Resolution 107, by Representative Sheldon, 104th. Resolution creating Joint Study Committee on Medicaid.
Appropriations.
House Resolution 108, by Representative Duncan, 26th. Bill to be entitled Act Proposed Amendment Constitution, provide for federal law for public officials, ratification or rejection.
Judiciary.
Through the first readers. There you go, partner.
Second reading of bills and resolutions. The clerk will read.
HB 129 by Representative Knight of the 130th, a bill relating to income taxes. HB 130 by Representative Knight of the 130th, a bill relating to coin-operated amusement machines. HB 131 by Representative Clark of the 101st, bill relating to educational programs. HB 132 by Representative Hawkins of the 27th, a bill relating to pharmacists and pharmacies and dentists, dental hygienists and dental assistants. HB 133 by Representative Benton of the 31st, a bill relating to property easements. HB 134 by Representative Smith of the 134th, a bill relating to imposition rate and computation of income taxes. HB 135 by Representative Welch of the 110th, a bill relating to Light of Notices of Municipalities. HB 136 by Representative Oliver of the 82nd, a bill relating to solid waste management. HB 137 by Representative Willard of the 51st, a bill relating to state license requirements and regulations for distribution and sale of wine. HB 138 by Representative Welch of the 110th, a bill relating to temporary assistance for needy families. HB 139 by Representative Hamilton of the 24th, a bill relating to general provisions regarding sheriffs. HB 140 Representative Earhart of the 36th, a bill relating to local boards of education. HB 141 by Representative Lindsay of the 54th, a bill relating to kidnapping, false imprisonment, and related offenses. HB 142 by Representative Ralston of the 7th, a bill relating to ethics in government. HB 143 by Representative Ralston of the 7th, a bill relating to campaign contributions. HB 144 by Representative Kirby of the 114th, a bill relating to labor organizations and labor relations. HB 145 by Representative Weldon of the 3rd, a bill relating to bonds for good behavior and to keep the peace. HB 146 by Representative Weldon of the 3rd, a bill relating to criminal procedure. HB 147 by Representative McCall of the 33rd, a bill to amend an act authorizing and directing the mayor and council of the city of Elberton to divide said city into wards. H.R. 5 by Representative Caldwell of the 20th, a resolution proposing an amendment to the Constitution so as to provide term limits for members of the Senate and members of the House of Representatives. Senate Bill 25 by Senator Staton of the 18th, a bill to amend an act to provide for the restructuring of the government of the City of Macon, City of Payne City, and Bibb County. Senate Bill 26 by Senator Staton of the 18th, a bill to provide for future elections to the office of coroner of Bibb County shall be nonpartisan elections. Senate Bill 27 by Senator Staton of the 18th, a bill to amend an act creating the civil court of Bibb County. Senate Bill 29 by Senator Staton of the 18th, a bill to provide the future elections for the office of Chief Magistrate Judge of Magistrate Court of Bibb County shall be nonpartisan elections. Senate Bill 30 by Senator Staton of the 18th, a bill to amend an act establishing the Board of Public Education for Bibb County. Senate Bill 31 by Senator Staton of the 18th, a bill to amend the Macon-Bibb County Water and Sewage Authority Act. Senate Bill 32 by Senator Staton of the 18th, a bill to provide that future elections for the office of Probate Judge of Bibb County shall be nonpartisan elections held at the time of certain general primary elections. 3 second readers.
Reports of standing committees, the clerk will read.
Representative Sims, 169, Chairman Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination, submitted the following report. Mr. Speaker, Committee on Intergovernmental Coordination has had the following bills of the House under consideration. Reports the same do pass. House Bill 86, expected submitted. Representative Sims, Chairman, through the committee reports.
Going to ask the House to come to order. We're about to go to the local calendar. We're about to go on to the local calendar. Third reading and passage of uncontested local bills. If there is no objection, we're going to vote on the local calendar as a whole with a recorded vote. Hearing no objection, it is so ordered. The clerk will read the local calendar.
House Bill 86, Representative Schnell, the 120th. Bill to be entitled Act, Midnight Provided Compensation, Judge State Court, Putnam County.
Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered on the local calendar? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of the bill on the local calendar will vote yes. All those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machines on the passage of the bill on the local calendar. The ayes are 158, the nays are 0. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. We're about to go to morning orders. I'm going to ask, I think we got more people standing up than we do at their seats. If you have business you need to attend to, please take it outside. Otherwise, please take your seats and give respect to the members in the well on morning orders. I'm going to ask members who have signed up for morning orders, and we have a number of them this morning, to limit their comments to 2 minutes each, and be making your way to the front of the chamber so that we can go through these with dispatch. Chair recognizes Representative Stovall for a morning order. Representative Stovall.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Speaker and distinguished members of the House. As a supporter of the school choice rally happening today, I would like to welcome to the Capitol the second school system in Clayton County, Scholars Academy Special State Charter School. I'm especially excited to be involved in school choice as I was the former board chair of Scholars Academy. My tenure on the board was one of the reasons I decided to come to the Gold Dome. I witnessed a strong compassion for public education by these parents who wanted a better choice for their children. They were determined to give their children a better educational experience despite limited resources like lack of transportation. Join me in welcoming from the amazing 74th House District, moving this state forward to the forward for the staff, parents, and 85 students from Scholars Academy Special State Charter School. Thank you.
Chair recognizes the chairman of the Regulated Industries Committee, and it appears that he has some colleagues that represent Paulding County with him. Chairman Maxwell, Representative Braddock, Representative Alexander, and Representative Gravely for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and ladies and gentlemen of the House. It's our privilege today to have the students that's participating in Civics Day in Paulding County here in the Capitol with us. We've got students and teachers from 5 of our middle schools that have been actively involved in the civics studies and participation. They were selected to come down to the Capitol Day. And Mr. Clerk, if you would read a resolution recognizing them, please.
House Resolution 18, Representative Maxwell 17th, Representative Braddock with the 19th, Representative Gravely the 67th, Representative Alexander the 66th. A resolution commending the fine participants of the first annual Paulding County Civics Day and for other purposes. There be resolved by this House of Representatives, members of this body recognize and commend the Paulding County Civics Day participants for their selection and their fine contributions to Paulding County and the state of Georgia.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. And if these students and teachers would stand in the balcony, I'd like for this group, august body, to recognize them. Stand up, folks. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair recognizes the Chairman of the Rules Committee, Chairman Meadows, for a morning order.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, the Speaker mentioned it earlier, but I would love for you to keep the people of Gordon County in your prayers. We've lost somewhere between 50 and 100 houses. Luckily, very few people were injured. We have 2 critical and several that have just been injured. But if you don't mind, keep them in your prayers. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Representative Jones, LaDon Jones, for a morning order.
Thank you, Speaker. Announcement for the freshman delegation. In our wise 8 days of here working as lawmakers, we scheduled our first freshman delegation reception on the day of one of the best events of the year. So I want to remind you to come out after you fill yourself up with shrimp and everything from Savannah Day, to come over to 1100 Howell Mill Road, Ormsby, for the freshman delegation reception and join us in helping to take over the world as freshmen of this great house. Thank you, Speaker.
We might start by finding out who's going to pay for that and go from there. Chair recognizes Representative Coomer for a morning order. Representative Coomer. Just a moment, Representative. The members are entitled to your respect when they are in the well on morning orders. Now, we've had this conversation earlier this morning. Let's please give the member, I think you may want to hear what he has to talk about. Representative Coomer, proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, everybody. As most of you, probably all of you, watched yesterday, there was a very horrific and devastating natural disaster tornado struck in my hometown in Adairsville. And yesterday afternoon, as soon as I heard that the interstate highways were cleared for travel, I made my way home, and I'm glad to say my family, my children, my wife, and my extended family are all safe, and we didn't suffer any immediate devastation ourselves. But when I got home, we loaded up in the truck and went to the church and tried to find out how we could help. We were able to hand out some blankets and pillows and that kind of thing, and couldn't really tell much last night after dark, but I was able to go back this morning and have a tour with the mayor and the police chief to see what devastation we really have had come upon us. And I will tell you, it's devastation is the only word I can use to describe it. It was very compelling scenes. Really, about half the town is completely destroyed. We did have one fatality. We've had probably a dozen maybe 24 folks were hospitalized with various injuries. And there's a massive cleanup already starting. We expect that probably anywhere from 35 to 50% of the working population in Adairsville is out of work today, at least temporarily. Some of those may be out of work permanently because of some of the destruction that was visited on us last night. But I was asked to bring a message to you from the mayor and the city council and the police chief. And a message is thank you. Because as I have the privilege of being their voice here, the Adairsville's, City of Adairsville's voice in this house, they asked me to tell you thanks because what happened yesterday was, of course, as you would expect, because we live in Georgia with good people, a lot of volunteers showed up and a lot of contributions were made immediately for immediate assistance needs. But what was more interesting, or equally interesting, was driving through last night and this morning again, there were sheriff's patrol cars from Dade County, from Gordon County, from Cherokee County, from towns in Cobb County, Paulding County, and this one I'm leaving last because I'm going to talk about it for a minute, but also from Floyd County. And we're very, very grateful for the men and women who not only put their own lives on the line all the time in your community, but we're very grateful that you sent them to us to let them help us in a really difficult time. The Floyd County Sheriff's Department in particular, I want to say a special thank you to Sheriff Burkhalter. He probably had more people from the Floyd County Sheriff's Office in Adairsville last night, maybe than he had in Floyd County, I'm not sure. But I actually saw Sheriff Burkhalter this morning. He was on scene assisting. And one of the great, I think, stories that will come from this is how well those law enforcement agencies, the EMS, and all of the first responders worked together. There was not a turf battle. There wasn't any kind of fighting with each other to figure out who's going to do what. It was just people showed up and helped. And I want you to know that we appreciate it, and I hope that you'll go back to your county where these folks are from and tell them I said thank you from the deepest part of our heart for their help. I also want to say a special thank you to, and I heard this over and over and over this morning from the people who were looking at their torn up houses and buildings and businesses, and they just kept saying, would you please tell Georgia Power thank you? Hey, you want me to thank a corporation, really? But I knew what they meant, and what they kept saying was, we kept hearing Georgia Power workers outside our house all night long trying to get power restored, trying. And I'll tell you, the local Georgia Power representative from my district kept calling me to say, well, we're going to have power on Pine Street at 6 o'clock in the morning. We're going to have power on Highway 41 at 9 a.m. And they kept giving me information that I could help folks who really were in some devastation of their own and couldn't get that information elsewhere. I was able to help them get that thanks to Georgia Power. So thank you, Georgia Power, for your work and the crews that worked all night long to make that happen. Yeah. And I want to specifically thank a couple more people, and then I'll sit down. The mayor, Evan King, in Adairsville, his police chief, Robert Jones, and the city council worked all day, all night. I think the chief told me he did get 2 hours of sleep last night, but they've worked, and they're still working today. And they're going to keep working because that's what they do. And in a time like this is when you get an opportunity to really see what people are made of. And I am proud to say the people in Adairsville have leaders who they've elected and hired who are made of the right stuff. They are worth their weight in gold. So I want to say thank you to them too. And I would be remiss if I did not also say thank you to Governor Nathan Deal and his staff and the agencies he manages. GEMA, the National Guard, the State Patrol, all were available and on scene, and we're in communication with our folks locally. I'm telling you what, I hope none of you ever have to see this kind of experience from your perspective, but when you do, you'll be amazed at how efficient and how quick in response our state government is, and how really nimble they are in being able to respond to even the most minor parts of a disaster like that. Thank you to our governor and to his agencies again. And I'll say this last. of all the places I've been, of all the places I've visited, of all the places I've lived in the military service and growing up in a preacher's home, moving around a lot, I can't think of anywhere I'd rather be living than in the great state of Georgia, in Bartow County, and in the Adairsville community. Great people. And I'm telling you what, if you ever decide to move, I don't want you to come run for office, but if you decide to move and retire, come to Adairsville. You'll not find a better place. We've got a great community, great people, but please keep us in your prayers. If you want to make a donation to the Red Cross or another agency or another charity, I'll be glad to talk to you about how to do that. But thank you from Adairsville. Thank you for your help, your support, and your love. Thank you very much.
Chair recognizes Chairman Smyrie for a morning order. Chairman Smyrie. He's going to be joined by Chairman Smith.
And Chairman Smith and Representative Buckner and Representative Pizzo. We, from the Columbus area, want to welcome Columbus State University to the chamber today, and we're delighted to have them here. Columbus State University is, of course, one of the anchors of our community, and we are very proud of Columbus State, and we'd like to welcome the president of Columbus State University, Dr. Tim Mescom, and the U.S. gold medalist, rifle gold medalist, Jamie Gray, and also golf coach Mark Emmelman, who is the coach brother of the 2008 Masters champ, and all the students from Columbus State University. Would y'all stand and would y'all welcome them to the Georgia House of Representatives? Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Mescom, and all the members here. We appreciate you all, and thank you all for all that you do in providing a quality education for the young people of this area, not only in the state of Georgia, but from around the country. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair recognizes Chairman Earhart and Representative Alicia Thomas Morgan for a morning order.
That's exciting. I heard that. Good morning, members of the House. I am really excited this morning to introduce to you a guest that we have. You may hear lots of beautiful voices outside because today we are celebrating School Choice Week, and so there's a rally with hundreds and hundreds of young people and parents outside. We have a very special guest with us visiting from California. It's the WNBA star and four-time gold medal Olympian Lisa Leslie, and she's joined us this morning. So please recognize her in the gallery.
She's tall.
Very tall and beautiful. And we are especially proud to have Miss Leslie here. She has done an incredible job with young people and mentoring and the work that she does for kids around the country, and we're glad to have you as an advocate for school choice. Welcome.
Just very quickly, take a moment today to visit with some of these children. School choice in Georgia is working thanks to this House of Representatives and these legislative bodies. These are wonderful kids that now have a choice in their education. Take a minute to see their success.
Thank you.
Chair recognizes for a morning order Representative Carson, and it appears that he's going to be joined by Chairman David Knight, Representative Mosby, and Representative Wilkerson. Is he in the? Yeah, there he is. For a morning order, Representative Carson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, what you see before you, the four of us, was what I would call the CPA caucus. Today is CPA Day here at the Capitol. We represent four of the nearly 19,000 licensed CPAs that call Georgia their home. As members of this profession, we are charged with protecting and promoting the public interest, most notably with regard to financial reporting, tax, audit, so forth. Our services, I would argue, are most critical to the financial markets and with regard to investors requiring accurate and dependable information for decision making. The Georgia Society of CPAs is by far the leading CPA organization in the state with 13,000 members. Our society provides advocacy, leadership, member services, personal and professional development opportunities for us. In addition, the CPA Board of Directors also provides us, state legislators, with tax opinions on current and proposed tax legislation. David?
On behalf of the Georgia Society of CPAs, you'll find they are going around, and you should get a copy of the 2013 tax guide for Georgia legislators. So let's thank them and welcome them. A lot of our CPAs in the gallery today, so please help us welcome the CPAs to the Capitol today.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chair recognizes Representative Kendrick for a morning order, and she is joined by Representative Bennett.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning, colleagues. Today is a special day. We have a group of business owners that joined us this morning and heard from several state and federal agencies. So Representative Brett Harrell and Representative Karen Bennett were my co-hosts for this year. So we appreciate the business owners that are up in the gallery. So if you would stand to your feet, because they are creating jobs in Georgia and they are probably losing money right now as we speak. So please give them a round of applause. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Chairman Houston for a morning order. Looks like she has some company. Chairman Powell, Representative Sam Watson.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr.
Looks like
Speaker.
a Southwest Georgia thing to me.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, I just want to take a minute to recognize some people from South Georgia. Leadership Colquitt County is up here in the balcony. I'm glad they came up here today. Thank you. Stand up, please.
All right, we've got a couple of groups of distinguished Georgians that we're going to recognize. Chair recognizes Chairman John Burns for an invite resolution. House will remain in order. Chairman Burns.
Good morning. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. If the clerk would read the caption from our invite resolution, we would certainly appreciate it, Mr. Clerk.
House Resolution 29 by Representative Burns, 159th, Representative Stevens, 164th, Representative Parrish, 158th, Representative Tankersley, 160th, Representative England, 116th, and others. A resolution recognizing and commending the Screven County Development Authority on the 50th anniversary of the signing legislation that created the Development Authority and inviting its members to be recognized by the House of Representatives. Now therefore be resolved by this House of Representatives, members of this body commend the Screven County Development Authority for their contributions to the citizens of Screven County, congratulate the authority on its 50th anniversary, and extend to them their best wishes for future success, and invite the members to be recognized by the House of Representatives at a date and upon a time to be determined by the Speaker of this House.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. 51 years ago, this body passed this resolution. 50 years ago, it was signed into law to create the Screven County Development Authority. Screven County is in southeast Georgia. It's about halfway between Savannah and Augusta on the Savannah River. It's intersected by the Savannah River Parkway, Georgia 21, a great developmental highway, and some really good folks there. Screven County is one of the larger agricultural counties in our state. Very innovative group of farmers down there. great natural resources, great beauty, and I would tell you it's one of God's garden spots in this world. Before I introduce the members of the Industrial Authority, I would like to thank the Speaker. As we sit on the border of South Carolina, we certainly compete with Georgia and the other 159 counties, but the Speaker has been, as you know, very instrumental in giving us the tools to compete against other states, to bring jobs to Georgia, and make sure that our young people have a place to come back home and be employed after they receive their educations. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We appreciate that. Joining me on the podium this morning is our three members of the Industrial Authority, Davy Wells, who has the distinction of being my first cousin. Don't hold that against him. Mr. Stephen Milner, and Mr. Todd Bazemore, who also is doing double duty here on CPA Day. Todd, we appreciate both of you. Our executive director is Dory Bacon, and she's going to make a comment. And Mr. Speaker, your good luck, because I think Dory later today is going to announce an industry that's going to locate and announce in Screven County. So we appreciate your good fortune for us, and we'll thank you. Dory?
Well, thank you for the resolution, and everyone for passing our resolution 50 years ago to allow us to be a constitutional authority working for industrial welfare in Screven County. I want to personally thank Representative Burns for things that he's done for us on several projects lately. We're the proud home of two large employers, King America Finishing and Cuello Bearings, which both employ about 450 people. We're a great place for manufacturing, and we hope to welcome more partners soon. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Representative Gordon for an invite resolution. Representative Gordon. Looks like he's being joined by Representative Mickey Stevens, Representative Ben Watson, Representative Bob Bryant, Chairman Ron Stevens. I don't recognize that other guy back there. Representative Al Williams, Representative Bill Hitchens, Representative Gordon.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, members of our body and special invited guests. It's almost cinematic today that by it being, and I promise we didn't plan it like that, it just kind of happened through divine intervention. But as you know, it's Savannah Chatham Day. But, the NFL has the Super Bowl, and Hollywood has the Golden Globes and the Oscars. But in the hospital world, we have the Foster McGraw Award, which is the highest honor that the American Hospital Association hands out to a hospital across the country. And this year, a Georgia hospital down in Savannah won that award and the $100,000 cash prize that goes along with it. And we want to thank the CEO, Mr. Paul Hinchy here, along with his staff, and everybody that made that possible. Right now, we're going to have a couple of words from Mr. Hinchy.
Well, thank you, Representative Gordon. I'd like to first of all thank the members of the Chatham delegation for all of this support over the years, and Mr. Speaker, for you for doing this, and all of you. We were very humbled when we found out we won this award. There are 5,000 hospitals in the United States, 150 hospitals applied for it, and we were very fortunate enough to get it. So we have to go up to the National Convention in April, and in addition to getting the prize, as Representative Gordon said, it's nice to get a check.
So we'll be getting a check for $100,000, which were given to one of our indigent clinics in the inner city of Savannah for free care for underprivileged people that live there. So we'll be there representing Savannah and the great state of Georgia, and also community hospitals from around the state who do so much outreach for disadvantaged populations. Thank you very much.
We're about to go on to the rules calendar. We have a rules calendar today. Clerk will read the caption to House Bill 55. House Bill 55.
House Bill 55 by Representative Golick of the 40th, the bill being entitled 16, relating to wiretapping, eavesdropping, surveillance, related offenses, so it's changed provision relating to interception of wire or oral transmission by law enforcement officers, changed provision relating to application and issuance of orders, authorize the installation and use of pin register, trap, and trace device to provide for related matters. This bill has been for the House Committee on Judiciary and Non-Civil. The committee recommends this bill do pass by way of a committee substitute, and the bill is being read today for its third time.
Chair recognizes the chairman of the Judiciary Non-Civil Committee, Chairman Golick, to present House Bill 55.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, House Bill 55 comes about as a result of a Supreme Court decision of just a few weeks ago, actually. And it came out of the jurisdiction of Gwinnett. There, what happened is a Superior Court judge signed a warrant for a wiretap, as they do habitually as it relates to drug investigations, drug trafficking investigations. But the Supreme Court ruled that that wiretap that was issued by that judge only had application within the confines of that jurisdiction, within Gwinnett County, and that was as a result of the way the statute is written. The statute was written, according to the Supreme Court, I believe a unanimous decision, that limited the application of that wiretap to just that county's jurisdiction. Well, as we all know, drug trafficking does not confine itself to neat county geographic boundaries. Of course, it crosses jurisdictional lines from county to county, and of course, in some cases, from region to region, state to state, et cetera. What this bill will do is change Georgia's statute in order to come into alignment with that Supreme Court case so that law enforcement can keep doing what it's doing as it relates to combating drug trafficking. It does not, I want to make sure it's clear, it does not expand the government's authority as it relates to the use of wiretaps. It simply allows us to maintain the status quo so that law enforcement can do what it needs to do. I will tell you that as a result of this this decision a few weeks ago, we have many drug investigations, drug trafficking investigations that are, to put it kindly, in limbo. That's why we're addressing this issue very quickly and get it over to the other side just as soon as we can. I'll be happy to answer any questions if there are any.
You have a couple of questions.
Sure.
Do you yield?
Yes, sir.
Chair recognizes Chairman Chuck Sims to your left for a question.
Gentleman, yield.
Yes, sir.
This was not a population bill, was it not? It was not a population bill.
No, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Chair recognizes to your right Chairman Carl Rogers for a question.
The gentleman in the well, will you yield?
Yes, sir.
Will you explain to me what a pen register is?
Yes, sir. A pen register is a mechanism that law enforcement will use to track particular phone calls. It is not an actual wiretap. It is a mechanism that allows them to see that this individual from this phone is calling that individual on that phone. And of course, those are individuals that may be persons of interest as it relates to a drug trafficking investigation. When they see that pattern exist, they take that information, and that's what allows them to form probable cause to go to a judge and to get a warrant issued for a wiretap. It is simply a record of one call from one phone going to another call, going to another phone. That's all it is.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Mr. Speaker, if
you have another question if you care to yield.
Yes, sir.
Chair recognizes Representative Flood to your left for a question.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To the gentleman to yell, will you yield?
Yes, sir.
Can you explain, Mr. Representative, sort of what problem this bill seeks to solve?
The problem that this bill seeks to solve is that we have a situation right now as a result of the Supreme Court decision of a few weeks ago, whereby drug trafficking investigations are now, as I said earlier, at the very best in limbo because of their inability to use wiretap as part of their investigation because of this problem in Georgia law. This bill is merely a statutory fix to bring our law, as written, in alignment with the Supreme Court decision so that these drug trafficking investigations can go forward, because right now they are at best neutralized, and that's the urgency of the bill.
You have no further questions.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen, I ask for your favorable consideration of House Bill 55.
Gentleman has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to adopting the committee substitute? The chair hears none. The committee substitute is adopted. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of House Bill 55 will vote yes. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine on the passage of House Bill 55. The ayes are 164, the nays are 1. This bill, having received a requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. What purpose does Chairman Golick rise?
Mr. Speaker, I'd ask for immediate transmittal to the Senate.
The gentleman has moved that House Bill 55 be immediately transmitted across the hall to the Georgia State Senate. Is there objection? Chair hears none. The motion is granted, and it is now on its way. Clerk will read the caption to House Bill 57. House Bill 57.
House Bill 57 by Representative Ramsey, 72nd. A bill being entitled Act amend Code Section 161325 relating to Schedule 1 controlled substances, so expand the definition of Schedule 1 controlled substances, provide for related matters. Bill having been for the House Committee, Judiciary Non-Civil. Committee recommends the bill do pass. The bill is being read today for its third time.
Chair recognizes the gentleman from the 72nd House District, the Vice Chair of the Majority Party Caucus, Representative Ramsey, to present the bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And those of you that were here last year and the 2 years before that, this is not going to be a new issue to you. This is our fourth update now to the schedule of chemical compounds that are commonly referred to as synthetic marijuana. street slang, it's been known as K2, spice, a variety of substances. This bill came to us from Georgia Drug and Narcotics and the GBI. Every year, the Georgia Crime Lab is identifying new chemical compounds that these distributors are putting into the groceries, into the convenience stores and the grocery stores, and selling as incense and other products that is literally killing our children. I got involved in the issue because a young man in my district died last year after ingesting these substances, which are 10 to 100 times more potent than garden variety marijuana. The question I've gotten most often is, well, how can we get out in front of this thing? We're playing this constant game of react as these new chemicals come into the stream of commerce, and we're working on that. We're working on it the best we can. This is a tough issue. Every crime lab in the country is working collaboratively. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation is working on that to come up with a way that's a little more proactive than reactive. But right now, as it stands, we've got to get these substances scheduled so our law enforcement can do their jobs and protect our children from these substances. With that, Mr. Speaker, I'm happy to yield to any questions, and otherwise would ask for the body's favorable consideration.
You have no questions.
I yield the well.
Gentleman has yielded the well. Is there any objection to the previous question being ordered? The chair hears none. The previous question is ordered. Is there any objection to agreeing to the report of the committee, which was favorable to the passage of the bill? The chair hears none. The report of the committee is agreed to. Shall this bill now pass? All those in favor of the passage of House Bill 57 will vote yes. Those opposed will vote no, and the clerk will unlock the machines. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? If so, the clerk will lock the machine on the passage of House Bill 57. The ayes are 167, the nays are 1. This bill, having received the requisite constitutional majority, is therefore passed. What purpose does Chairman Knight rise?
Make a motion.
State your motion.
I'd like to make a motion that we move HB 83 from the Committee of Banks and Banking to the Small Business Committee.
Clerk will read the caption.
House Bill 83 by Representative Knight, 130th. Bill to be entitled Act Amendment Title 7, related licensing, mortgage lenders and brokers, exempt licensed real estate brokers assisting in short sale real estate transactions for mortgage broker licensing requirements.
On the motion of the gentleman that House Bill 83 be withdrawn from the Banks and Banking Committee and recommitted to the Small Business Development Committee, is there objection? Is there objection? Chair hears none. It is so ordered. Chair recognizes Representative Ben Watson to introduce the Doctor of the Day. Representative Watson.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It certainly is appropriate on Savannah Chatham Day that we should have a physician from Savannah today. Dr. Mike Zoller is a physician that's the former president of our local medical association called the Georgia Medical Society, based historically, and he's the former president of Medical Association of Georgia here. But more importantly, Mike is a practicing ear, nose, and throat doctor and will be in the clinic today. Just a little background on Mike. He's originally from New Orleans, went to the University of New Orleans and then Tulane Medical School, did his residency at Harvard Medical School, and came to Savannah and has been a pillar of our community, not just from a professional medical standpoint, but from a all-around standpoint. Let me just say, as an ear, nose, and throat physician and a lot of colds and flus going around, he would be a great person to see in our medical clinic today. Dr. Mike Zoller.
Mr. Speaker and members of the House, I want to welcome you to come visit me in the clinic if you have any ear, nose, and throat problems, want to discuss anything, and want me to examine you. And I want to thank all of you for all the hard work you do on behalf of Georgians, and thank you for what you do to help us doctors give the best possible medical care to our patients. And you are very lucky indeed to have Dr. Ben Watson, who's one of our finest medical doctors in the community of Savannah. And I know he can help you all a lot with his medical expertise in getting the proper legislation passed. So come and join me in the clinic. I'll be on the second floor all this afternoon.
Clerk will read the caption to a group of privilege resolutions. The clerk will read.
These first 5 resolutions are invitation resolutions. They're being read for the first time today. Referred to Committee on Rules. Resolution by Representative Gardner. 57, recognizing and commending Dr. Nadine Caslow, inviting her to be recognized by the House of Representatives. Resolution by Representative Ramsey. 72nd, recognizing and congratulating the McIntosh High School Lady Chiefs soccer team, Fayette County, for winning the Class 5A state championship and inviting them to be recognized by the House. Resolution by Representative Holmes. 129, recognizing and commending William Arthur Connolly, significant accomplishments, inviting him to be recognized by the House of Representatives. Resolution by Representative Jones. 47, commending Georgia State University and recognizing February 6, 2013, Georgia State University Day at the state capitol, inviting President Mark Becker, various students to be recognized by the House of Representatives. Resolution by Representative Rogers. 29, commending Lynette Hallman, inviting her to be recognized by the House of Representatives. As aforesaid, those are invitation resolutions being read for the first time today, referred to the Committee on Rules. Following resolutions are privilege resolutions read for the first time today for adoption. Resolution by Representative Powell. 32nd, honoring and commending the firefighters of Georgia, recognizing February the 5th, 2013, 41st Annual Firefighters Appreciation Day at the Capitol. Resolution by Representative Carter. 175th, recognizing and celebrating 40 years of dance arts with Linda Chase. Resolution by Representative Carter. 175th, recognizing the Valdosta Lowndes County Chamber of Commerce. Resolution by Representative Howard. 124th, recognizing and commending Angela Crosby, occasion of her retirement. Resolution by Representative Buckner. 137th, recognizing February 12, 2013, Girl Scouts Day at the state capitol. And a resolution by Representative Drenner, the 85th, congratulating Bishop William Bill C. Harris on his 70th birthday. A resolution by Representative Coomer, the 14th, recognizing and commending Etowah Valley Young Marines Unit through the privilege resolutions.
Is there any objection to adopting the privilege resolutions? The chair hears none and the resolutions are adopted. If you have an announcement, be making your way to the front of the chamber. Chair recognizes Chairman Dempsey for an announcement. Just a moment, Madam Chair. You may want to listen up to these announcements. You may want to listen up. If you don't want to listen up, as I've said before, 3 doors. and they're all open out. So Chairman Dempsey, you are recognized for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning. I just want to say thank you one more time to everybody who wore red today. And I want to make you aware of that tomorrow, as we live our lives around, you may bump into other people with red on, because tomorrow is the official day. And when they scheduled this, they didn't think we'd be here tomorrow. But we will. So I'm not asking you to wear it again, but I'm asking you to keep this cause very close to your heart, because there is such a difference and such good outcomes that can come by early prevention of heart disease. Thank you so much.
Chair recognizes Chairman Smith for an announcement. Chairman Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Insurance Committee will have an organizational meeting this afternoon at 4 o'clock in room 506. Thank you, sir.
The chair recognizes Chairman Carl Rogers for an announcement.
Thank you. The Higher Ed Committee will meet at 1:30 for about 30 minutes in Coverdale Legislative Office Building at 1:30, just for organizational reasons. 13406 Higher Ed. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Representative Jason Shaw for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I just wanted to remind everyone that we've got a rural caucus meeting over in Gary Black's in the Ag Building at as soon as we finish eating lunch with our friends from the Soil and Water Conservation Districts. It'll be on the second floor. So we'll meet as soon as we finish that. We'll go over and start our meeting, and the governor is going to address the caucus around 12:30. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Representative Nikki Randall for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just a reminder to the Bibb County delegation, we have a delegation meeting at 11:45, room 328 in the LOB. Please be there. We have a presentation, business of importance, Bibb County delegation meeting. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Chairman McCall for an announcement.
Georgia has 40 soil and water conservation districts spread throughout the state. They are 75 years old, and to celebrate that, they want to feed you beef tenderloin, pork tenderloin, chicken wings, chicken sausage, vegetable trays, and syrupy sweet South Georgia tea down in 230, starting in 5 minutes.
Chair recognizes Representative Frazier for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The Georgia Working Family Caucus will meet upon adjournment in room 310, CLOB. Our speaker will be Alan Essex from the Georgia Budget and Policy Institute. Today, 310 upon adjournment. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Chairman Parsons for an announcement.
Thanks, Speaker. A reminder to members of the Energy, Utilities, and Telecommunications Committee, we're having a meeting today at 2 o'clock. Room 406 of the Coverdale Building. We have a presentation from the EMCs. We had a great testimony this morning to the importance of the generation, the distribution, delivery of electricity. Very important that you be there. It's one of the big rooms. Anybody else has an interest in it, there'll probably be room for you, so I invite you to come. Thank you.
Chair recognizes Chairman Powell, Chairman Alan Powell for an announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Ladies and gentlemen of the House, on December the 13th, Georgia lost one of its most beloved and distinguished Georgians, Rachel Fowler. For those of y'all, many of y'all who have been here for over a period of 2 or 3 terms, remember her. She had walked the halls out here with the Garden Club promoting certain issues, and she did it with such grace and civility that even the folks who could not agree with her position on things were very much enamored with her graciousness. We've got a resolution honoring her, and we'll be speaking to this at a later time, but for anyone who would like to sign on, I'm going to leave it up here at the podium.
If you have a page photograph, be getting with your pages down here at the podium now. We'll be taking those immediately upon adjournment. We're not going to go looking for you. Chair recognizes for an announcement Representative Virgil Flood.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Just a reminder, the House Democratic Caucus will hold its press conference this afternoon at 2 p.m. in room 230 in the Capitol. 2 o'clock in room 230. Thank you.
Chair recognizes for an announcement Chairman Dixon and Representative Broderick.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. For those of you who did not join us on the first day of the session for Dalton Whitfield Day, I want to remind you that if you haven't picked up your rug, I have them in my office, 507 in LOB, Representative Dixon, and 245 here in the Capitol. They will make a nice Valentine's Day edition, so please stop by and pick up your rug. We want to spread the word that Dalton and Whitfield County is open and ready for business, so please pick them up.
Chair recognizes for an announcement Representative Kirby.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. For all of you supporters of the fair tax, I have a resolution urging Congress to pass the fair tax, and I will leave it up here at the podium for you to sign on to it at your convenience. Thank you.
Chair recognizes for an announcement Chairman Chuck Sims.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and ladies and gentlemen of the House. The Intergovernmental Affairs Committee will have a meeting today at 2 p.m., 403 at the Capitol. We have 7 bills, and we also have an organizational meeting. Thank you.
I've saved the best for last. Chair recognizes Representative Bryant and others from Savannah and Chatham County for an announcement.
Mr. Speaker, ladies and gentlemen of the House, we have the best -1 right now. Chairman Stevens should be here with us, but he's not. I would like to take this opportunity on behalf of the Chatham County delegation and inform you that one of the most important days here at the Capitol for us is the Savannah Chatham Day, which is today. Today at 4 o'clock from 4 to 8, I'm sorry, let me back that up, from 5 to 8 is a seafood festival that's put on by the Savannah Chamber of Commerce, and that'll take place at the depot. I was asked to let you know that any elected official, the interest fee is your badge. Everybody else has to supply a ticket for the event. So on behalf of the delegation from Chatham County, we welcome you today for Savannah Chatham Day, and we thank you.
That's all, Bob.
Thank you, Representative Bryant. I hope that all of you will help join with me in wishing a happy birthday today to Representative D. Dawkins Hagler. Happy birthday. Completes the business of the House for this day. Chair recognizes the Majority Leader of the House for a motion.
Mr. Speaker, I move this House now adjourn until 9 a.m. Let me repeat, please, 9 a.m. Friday, February the 1st, 2013.
On the motion of the Majority Leader that this House be adjourned until 9 o'clock a.m. tomorrow, all those in favor of the motion will indicate by saying aye. All those opposed will say no. Chairman Smyre's vote counts multiple times. The chair rules that the ayes have it. This House will be adjourned until 9 o'clock a.m. tomorrow morning.